So please remember to rewind, and let's take a look at the history of the video rental store. In order to see a movie, long before streaming players, DVDs, VCRs, or even cable, you had to physically go to the theater. Like the movie? Want to see it again in a few months? Well, you're out of luck. Unless a theater in your area decides to rerun that movie at some point in the future. Hardly a reliable system. Thankfully, in the 50s, we were introduced to the new medium of television. Although available since the 20s, thanks to the post-World War II economic upswing and the price of televisions becoming more affordable, TVs became commonplace in American households. There was only one problem: how to fill the time. Television was new and didn't have a lot of content. Many stations were making it up as they went along, and even the ones that had their act together couldn't run live programming 24/7, and stations didn't have the luxury of an endless library of shows in syndication, or at least until the test pattern played. So, television studios looked to Hollywood and purchased the rights to show classic movies and showed them, or built shows around them. Westerns, horror, science fiction, and Hollywood classics were on the menu, and people ate them up. Movie studios even packaged movies together to sell to TV stations in bulk, like Universal's Shock Package, which featured 53 classic titles, such as Dracula and Frankenstein, among others. It even contributed to the resurgence of actors' careers, or at least interest in their older works. Old Western stars got their own shows and endorsement deals. Fascination with science fiction films, thanks in part to the space program, was at an all-time high, and boogeymen like Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff were once again in demand for their roles. Starting in the 50s as well, you could now watch some of your favorite films at home at your convenience. For the first time, you could purchase your favorite movies from a catalog or in the back of a magazine on glorious 8mm. The only problem was that 8mm, at best, runs approximately 4 minutes long. So let's do the math. Say your favorite movie is an hour and a half. That's 90 minutes. 90 minutes minus 8 equals, well, you get the picture. There was a lot of the movie cut out, and mostly just skipped to the good parts. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, Americans needed more and more television channels. The answer was cable television. But once again, cable channels ran into the same problem over-the-air channels had in the 50s: content. So once again, television looked to Hollywood for the solution. This brought Americans once again classic films to fill the void. Channels were built around it.
And now back to the film that shows just what could happen when you take really good stock footage and mess it up by putting a movie in there. Vampire on Bikini Beach on USA Up All Night. Well, I guess that's long enough. I really have been robbed. This would have been a good show, too. Damn.
While movies filled the cable landscape, they still were not exactly at our fingertips. Enter the VCR. In the late 70s, RCA won the so-called videotape format wars, beating out Betamax as America's home theater entertainment format. Legend states that VHS beat out Beta due to the pornography industry choosing VHS. However, it probably had more to do with tape length and price. But don't let a good story stand in the way of the facts. Now people can record from television and watch their favorite films over and over again. But if you wanted to see something not on television, unedited, and without commercials, well, you could buy the movie. But what if you're not the type for commitment? What if you don't want to shell out the 1983 asking price for a VHS movie of approximately $80 to $100 for a brand new, right out of the theater's film? Enter the video store. Mom and pop stores that rented videos started popping up throughout America's landscape. Dedicated standalone stores, gas stations, grocery stores, catalog rental services, anything you could think of got into the video rental business. And business was booming. Colorful and graphic covers lured moviegoers into renting movies many people have never heard of, and many of the video stores catered to the neighborhood they resided in, or who the purchasers were. If you lived in a neighborhood with an immigrant population, the store may have a large selection of foreign films. Younger neighborhoods had large selections of kids' films and horror films for their teenage babysitters. But like all good things, we have corporate America entering the picture.
Hey, if it's on video, Blockbuster probably has it. I mean, we have over 10,000 videos.
Wow.
I'll watch these fast and have them back tomorrow, I promise. Relax. At Blockbuster, you can keep your videos for 3 evenings, so take home plenty. And use our 24-hour quick drop.
Do you have any children's videos?
Sure. Blockbuster's America's family video store. You know, we have more kids' videos than any place else. More movies, more nights, more fun.
Blockbuster Video.
Wow, what a difference!
Blockbuster began in 1985 and quickly expanded throughout the country using a fast food model of franchising. Blockbuster didn't have every movie you wanted, but certainly they had the most number of movies. Soon, there were over 9,000 Blockbuster locations. So odds are a Blockbuster was somewhere in the vicinity of your house. Maybe 2 or 3. Blockbuster even sponsored its own college bowl game. Blockbuster quickly strangled out many of the smaller video stores that couldn't keep up with the Blockbuster juggernaut in terms of selection and convenience. Catalog services folded, and video stores repurposed into things like delis and tax services. Grocery stores had to go back to selling milk, eggs, and bread. Gas stations had to go back to selling gas and Slim Jim.
Want to light up your life? Yeah! Have those Slim Jim!
Smaller video rental stores stayed in business, at least for a while. Many in thanks to providing adult videos that Blockbuster wouldn't. Although formats like the Laserdisc tried and failed.
An optical laser scanner, and Magnavision was the first consumer product in our galaxy to use it.
The reign of VHS wouldn't reign forever. In the early 2000s, more households switched from VHS to DVD. This posed a problem for smaller video stores still in business that had to switch formats. This seemed to be the nail in the coffin for mom-and-pop video stores. Blockbuster remained, but now charged outrageous rental fees, thanks to rising costs and having a stranglehold on the rental market. In the late 2000s, throughout the country, Redbox and other DVD rental kiosk machines started popping up outside of, once again, gas stations and grocery stores. This time, without the employee ringing you out. All you need is a credit card and the ability to get the DVD back within 24 hours. To make matters worse for Blockbuster, the DVDs were typically only $1, so less selection than Blockbuster, but you don't have to deal with the lines, the price gouge, or the glue-stiffing teenager who doesn't know where the horror section is. Taking another swipe at the once great Blockbuster empire is Netflix. Netflix, originally a service that exclusively sent DVDs through the mail based on someone's online queue list. Some smaller video stores introduced delivery services for video, but this was merely a stopgap. Enter Netflix streaming. It's called Netflix for a reason, not Mailflix. People could now instantly watch movies without getting into their car. What could take down the whole system? Pirating. Pirating has been blamed for a lot of things, such as taking down the whole movie economy. Some steal to save cash, and some to level the playing field, because they have been price gouged by the movie industry for years. But subscription streaming services still reign supreme. More people pay for their movies than steal them, even though movie pirates still account for more downloads. Despite all of this, believe it or not, video stores are still around. While Blockbuster closed its doors in early 2014 and ended its streaming service, several mom-and-pop operations still exist. Maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's habit, or maybe a need for personal touch of customer service you don't get from a streaming service. But video rental stores do still exist, and maybe not very far from you. Keep your eyes open. As for the future of video rental stores, with the exception of those few holdouts, The video rental biz is dead, and the ones that are still around aren't exactly on strong economic footing. Although now gravely endangered, let's not put the video rental store into the trash bin of history. They played a vital role, at least for a short amount of time, in America's pop culture.